Hi guys, today I'm gonna read Big Nate in Class by Himself. She could have called on anybody. There were 22 other kids in the classroom, and they all had their hands in the air. Francis did, Teddy did, Gina did. Of course, even Nick Blonsky, who usually sits in the back row with his pencil up in his nose, had his hand raised. He could have called on one of them, right? Guess who she calls on? Nate! Yep. Mrs. Godfrey always does this. She always calls on me when I don't know the answer, and she can tell I don't know it. Ever hear somebody say that dogs can smell fear? That's Mrs. Godfrey. She's like a dog. A big, ugly, nasty dog. Grrr! I sort of scooch down in my seat. The whole class is staring at me. My ears start to burn. Then my cheeks. I can feel tiny droplets of sweating up of my forehead. Well, she barks. What was the question again? I've heard that on a bench day you use about 10% of your brain power while sitting here with my mouth turning as dry as a sack of sand. I really need that other 90% to kick in. But my mind is blank. Mrs. Godfrey steps away from the chalkboard and starts towards me. She looks mad, so worse than mad. She looks mean. Her face is flushed. I can see tiny flakes of spittle at the corners of her mouth. That's pretty gross. I brace myself. And then the bell rings and rings and keeps on ringing. Except it doesn't really sound like the school bell. It sounds more like ring, whap. I was dreaming. I blink hard. Then I let out a huge sigh of relief. I've never been so happy. So to hear that alarm clock in my entire life, not that I'm ready to get up or anything. Closing my eyes, I flop back down into my pillow. Zzz. Time to go to school. Nap. Poof. Hey, thanks a lot, Dad. Way to break it to me gently. Nice parenting. Actually, his parent skills aren't that bad. He makes the nastiest tuna casserole you ever tasted, but he's pretty harmless, especially compared to some of the spiteful dads I've ever seen. Parental fact: once you go bald, you completely lose your ability to relate to anyone under the age of 30. A little lich games. It's just like Dad's kind of cool. He has no idea what it's like to be me. I mean, how long has it been since he was in middle school? 30 or 40 years? I think he's forgotten how it feels to be held all day long in building that smells like a combination of chalk dust, ammonia, and mystery meat. He can't remember what it's like to be in French 6th grader. Now that in French 6th grader, I hate the Annette I'm not actually Joe Honor Roll, but answer me this. When I get out of there in the real world, is anybody going to care whether or not I know what was vice president under Warren G. Harding? And you don't try to pretend that you know who is was, because you don't know. The point is, I want to use my talents for more than just memorizing, unless facts I meant for bigger things. I am destined for greatness. I'm still not 100% sure what kind of greatness I'm destined for, but I've figured it out. I've got options. I keep a list of my closest door about this very subject. I'm the goalie of our middle school team. Eve played the most of the band. I started Frankus, Teddy, and other rocks. I especially in caricatures of teachers. I'm awesome at it, but I might be a tough way to make a living. There's also stuff I definitely won't achieve greatness in, like Oprah, Swinichi or Renaissance, swimming, and cat grooming. Enough said. Let's get back to the unfortunate fact that today's a school day. But what kind? You know, not all the days are created equal. You can rank them by category. Just so you know, I'm really into ranking stuff. One time I spent a sweet week ranking every kind of snack food I could think of it. At the top, cheese doodles. At the bottom, rice cakes. Dad fact. Dad hands out rice cakes for Halloween one year. That was also the year our house got egg. Contact the dots, Dad. Here you go, kids. What the? If I were to grade the different kinds of school days report card styles, here's how they stacked up. A+, field trip days. I'm not talking about lame field trips when I walk the teacher who you walk around the neighborhood on Earth Day picking up trash. I'm talking about an all-day get on the bus and go summer field trip. Even if they give you a worksheet and a hope you might actually learn something, you can usually come up with an excuse not to do it. That's what I did last year when we went to the aquarium. I should be in math right now. B, special events day. This is where the classroom gets eaten up by something better, like a movie or an assembly, or better yet, some sort of emergency. Last spring, Mrs. Cruiser caught a fire and set off. The smoke alarm is actually on. We got to the Eckford the building and ended up playing Unlimited. First, frisbee on the lawn for an hour. That was awesome for everybody except Mrs. Kreswicki. C minus. Substitute teacher days. I think we can all agree that subs are almost always better than the real teachers. But by better, I mean more clueless. The absolute subs are fresh out of college. One who have never taught a day in their lives. Frankly, they're not very bright, or maybe they're just really gobbly. You know the word gobbly is in the dictionary. It's not? But Mr. Galvin always lets us chew gum in class. Okay, carry on. D. Normal days. Unfortunately, most days are like this. You spend 6.5 action-packed hours studying subjects like photo themes and the War of 1812 thoroughly. You get home after school and your parents are like, "What did you learn in school today?" And you think about it for a solid 10 seconds and then you say, "I don't have the foggiest idea." F. Train wrecks. There are so many ways for a school day to go wrong that it's almost impossible to list them. All you could do is get screamed by a teacher, usually Mrs. Godfrey, but also no reason. Locked up by Chester, the school bully who looks like he spikes his chocolate milk with human growth humor, or a teacher could nail you with a quiz or test saw coming. That you never saw coming. Test? Test? Now there's a horrifying thought. Do we have a test today? I don't remember any teacher mentioning a test yesterday. But like I already told you, I don't remember much of anything. They say I usually start to lose interest right around the time I hear "Settle down, class." Settle down, class. And teacher speak means let the mind-numbing boredom begin. Yak, 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 yak. And by the way, there's a test tomorrow. Yak, 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 yak. It's times like this I wish I paid better attention in class. Like Francis. Francis, you know whether or not we have a test today? Francis, he insists on eating his lunch every day in alphabetical order. Apple, celery, sandwich, yogurt. Here's the thing about Francis. He knows just about everything. He's always got his nose buried in the book of facts. And he takes school pretty seriously. The truth is, he's kind of a geek. But I'm allowed to call him that because we're tight. We've known each other since the first day of kindergarten. When I started snoring during nap time, so I hit him in the head with my Thomas the Tank Engine lunchbox, and we've been best friends ever since. Let me see if he's up yet. Yep, he's up, and he's reading, of course. But wait a minute, look what he's reading. His social studies textbook. So we must have a test today. Oh no. This is bad. This is very bad. First, because my social studies textbooks is in my locker at school. And second, because I suddenly remember what Mrs. Godfrey said to me after our last test. If you do this poorly on the next test, Nate, you will very well end up in summer school. Here we got social studies first period. That only gives us about 45 minutes to study my class notes. Where are my class notes? Ah, here they are. Oh. Well, it looks like my class notes aren't going to be much help. Not unless Mrs. Godfrey gives us extra credit for doodling. I'm dead.